What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the CaliKidOfficial Podcast. I'm your host, CaliKidOfficial, and this week a lot happened, so let's get right into it. So, over the weekend, we had the return of Conor McGregor. He took on Donald The Cowboy Cerrone at UFC 246, and he quickly made short work of the Cowboy by finishing him in a total of 40 seconds. The match started off with him running into like a Superman punch type of deal towards Cerrone. Cerrone ducked, but he caught the knee of Conor McGregor, and then they started to get into the grapple. And then as they were in the grapple or the clutch, Conor used his shoulders as like a new weapon and quickly broke his nose, and it kind of stunned him. And they got back out of that. Conor threw a leg kick that dropped him, and then he went in for the kill, and was throwing bombs, and he finished them in short order. So I thought it was pretty impressive, as I was saying, from his interview that he had with Ariel, that he was more confident and he had that hunger that he once had when he first started his mixed martial arts career, and it showed in this event this past weekend. So, hats off to Conor. After the match was over, the Cowboys' grandmother came in the ring, and Conor hugged her as well as hugged Donald, and told him that that shoulder, it broke your nose, didn't it? And it was like, yeah, it was like, you're a warrior. And he said the same thing to the Cowboys' grandmother. He said that you're a warrior and you raise a strong, fine man. So overall, I was pretty impressed. I didn't think it would end that early, but he looks very focused, and I'm expecting similar results in his next fight. Who knows who he's gonna fight? Because after the match, they asked him who he wanted to fight. He said he's not where he wanted to be, or where he normally thinks he should be. He's still got some work to do, but he's down to fight whoever. And at the event, you had Jorge Masvidal there in a Versace suit. I mean, not suit, a Versace robe with his BMF belt. You got him. You had Khabib is another possible fight. Who else? Kamaru Usman. He was there, but he was like, oh, Conor, it'd be short work. But he got some pretty interesting fights. You got Khabib, Usman, Masvidal, and some other people, Justin Gaethje or something like that. He called Conor out as well. So we'll just have to see from that. But overall, pretty impressed with what he did. Moving on for that, we also had episode 3 of Power. And this episode, we saw the story of Tommy. I thought it might have been Tasha's with the way they left the episode off last week, but on this week's we got Tommy's episode, and basically, as with the other ones, it goes all the way from the beginning to what led up to Ghost getting shot. And so we see Tommy basically, interacting with 2-Bit. He learns that Spanky snitched on him, and that Dre was the one that dropped the dino in the warehouse. And he meets up with Paz, who comes to his apartment telling him to, I need you to kill the person that killed my sister. I need you to kill Ghost. So yeah, on the story of Tommy, he meets up with the kid of Proctor, because Proctor left the kid the diamond neck. I mean, not the diamond, but a necklace with a heart shape with a recording of basically Tommy saying that he killed Lobos and whatnot. And so basically throughout the episode, it shows him trying to get that back. He goes through the whole process of kidnapping the girl, and eventually they have like some type of connection with them both losing people close to him. And she asks him, did you kill my father? He doesn't really say anything, and then she's like, I know you did it. I know what my father is capable of. He let my mother die. So they had like a little bonding moment with one another. And I think the Tommy episode was probably the best one out of the 3 that they showed thus far. We also see Tommy catch up with Spanky, and he basically says, man, I ain't snitch you. You gotta let me know where you going. He was like, oh, if I tell you where I'm going, I'm gonna have to kill you. And he was like, oh, word. And then he was like, so where you going? And he was like, California. Then he pulled out the gun with the sniper and just sprayed him one good time in the head. So Spanky got killed off for his troubles, for ratting and all of that. We also get to know why the apartment is cleared out, because he had the Italian mob on his tail. As he was trying to leave, he got confronted by the dude that runs the mob that his father used to be a part of. And they get into like this shootout. He does away with him, fairly easy, as well as the other dudes. That was pretty cool. They had a little shootout right there. And so as the episode is coming to an end, Tommy runs into Truth, and he sees Ghost laying on the floor. And then they look up and he says, "You mother." So basically, he knows who killed Ghost in that moment. And then it sounded like Ghost said, "No, let her go," or "let them go." So in that essence, there's 3 possible people I believe killed Ghost. Even though 50 Cent and the creators of the show have created multiple alternate endings to prevent leaking, which is smart. It's either Tasha, the campaign advising chick that Ghost was seeing, or Tariq. Those are the 3 people that I believe, had the means, are probably the 3 people that did it. So, but Tasha's episode is next, so it can't be her. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna whoever has the last episode is gonna be the one, that actually did it. Even though there's still several characters left, and I think there's only like 2 episodes left. But yeah, it's either Tasha, Tariq, or the chick that Ghost was dating that ultimately killed him. So I'm pretty interested to see what happens on the next upcoming episode, which is gonna be Tasha. So yeah. But moving on from that, we also had the AFC and the NFC Championship games. We saw the Chiefs and the Titans go head to head, as well as the Niners and the Packers go head to head. The Titans unfortunately came up short, and they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Chiefs are moving on to the Super Bowl, and then we saw the Niners, walk all over the Packers. And so it's going to be the Chiefs and the Niners in the Super Bowl. And all this season, the Packers, I never felt as though the Packers really had a legitimate shot. Like, their team seemed like fluky, and it showed up in the playoffs. Like, they were down for most of the game. I think at one point they were down like 14-0, 17-0 or something like that. And yeah, they lost. So we're going to have a Chiefs and Niners Super Bowl. A high power offense led by Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs versus a pretty well balanced team for the Niners. So who's going to win that game? It all depends on who shows up. Last game, Jimmy G, he didn't even really have to do anything. All he did was hand the ball off pretty much the whole game. I think he only threw maybe probably 8 passes or so, if that. So if that's all he has to do in this game, then it's going to be easy sledding for the Niners. But I expect the Niners to pull this one off. They have the better defense. I think the Chiefs are probably better offensively, but I think the Niners are going to win this one. It's probably going to be a shootout, though. So probably somewhere like 30-23 or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. I think the Niners are going to get this one. So we'll just have to see. And also, we had the debut of Zion. He finally made his debut. As you see with like all the media around him, usually we saw him sitting on the bench, being sleepy because he can't play. So he finally got his chance to play against the Spurs, and he had a pretty impressive performance. In the fourth quarter, he went 4 for 4 from 3, and ultimately he finished with 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. They did lose to the Spurs, though, but it was a pretty impressive effort from them. I think once the team, get some more opportunities to play with one another, the Pelicans have a pretty bright future with, all those pieces they have around them with Lonzo, Ingram, Hart, Zion, and everybody else. So pretty impressive. I know he had the whole arena, on fire. Every time he shot the ball, they was going crazy. And then when he came up for a game, that was like, we want Zion, and they was chanting MVP and stuff. So you know they got a pretty bright future going on for that team. So congrats to them. And also a lot of craziness has been going on. We had AB in the news again. Apparently, a situation unfolded at his Florida mansion where a moving truck was sent there, I guess, to pick up some things from his house or something, and some type of altercation happened, and the mover got hit and attacked. One person had been arrested, and an arrest warrant was put out for AB, and he turned himself in, you know, yesterday, which would be, Thursday, and he bailed out, I believe, this morning or later yesterday. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. It's unfortunate that all of these things is coming at him all at once. It seems as though he's kind of like spiraling out of control. Early on, you know, it was small things, but now it's like it's starting to gradually increase, and it's looking like he's going to ultimately, fall flat. So hopefully he gets some help. I don't know what's going on. He needs to have, hopefully there's someone around him that can like rein him in and, get him some help, because it's unfortunate to see, people with that amount of success, spiral out of control and ultimately lose it all. I think his agent that was with him didn't release him. Nike didn't release him. So it's like ever since, he hasn't been able to play football. It's like, man. But hopefully, things work out in his favor. It's unfortunate. And then we had a member of Lil Durk's crew, OTF. His name is OTF Dede. He got caught in a situation where it seems as though the girl that he was messing with set him up. So basically, if you don't know, there's this video floating around on the internet where it shows him, on his knees, and somebody's, chopping his locks out of his head, and you see blood on his hand because the person behind the camera got a gun pointed at him and making him perform, fellatio on a woman, on her period, which is, the most degrading thing. And the only thing that's going to come out of this, is more people getting hurt. Because, when it comes to Chicago, a lot of, there's a lot of retaliation and bad blood going on in that city. So hopefully, things don't escalate, but more than likely it is. And this ain't going to go unanswered. So we just going to have to monitor that. But that's why you got to watch who you be around, watch where you go, watch who you talk to, because people that you think you cool with or people that you talking to in the back of their mind, is lining you up. And that's what this situation looked like. The woman that he was messing with more than likely lined him up, or some dudes knew that he was going over there because they was watching him and they busted in and did what they did. But there's going to be some retaliation, after this situation. And it's unfortunate that somebody had to go through something like that because it's humiliating. And then we got this Lizzo chick. If you're not familiar with her, she recently like blew up. She will be what I consider one of those things they call industry plants, because it's like she came out of nowhere. Even though you had some people say that she's been slowly grinding her way up, but it's like at this point now she's becoming like a caricature of herself, because nowadays she's becoming more and more relevant because of her antics than of course her music. It all started with her showing up to a Laker game, with the back cut off her shirt with a thong on. Like, that was inappropriate. And then we see another video of her in lingerie and stuff, dancing or whatever. And then we just see another video of her, and she's basically on her knees doing like a fake version of giving head on the TikTok app. And that platform in itself is primarily children, so there's going to be some repercussions behind that, and she's going to ultimately end up getting herself banned. So I don't understand what's going on with that. To me, it seems like a cry out for help, a cry out for attention. She possibly might be going through something, and that's why she's doing all these antics. So hopefully somebody reach out to her and try to get her to stop doing stuff like that, because it's detrimental not only to herself, but to the people that support her. You don't want people to be trying to imitate that type of behavior, because it's not necessary. But moving on from that, we also, this weekend, we got the Royal Rumble, and I think I might have to tune back in. And the last piece of WWE content I watched, I believe, was Survivor Series. NXT, was ultimately victorious on that pay-per-view, so I'm expecting this Royal Rumble to, be pretty interesting. I know that Brock Lesnar is going to be in the Royal Rumble, even though he's the champion, the Universal Champion. He's going to be in the Royal Rumble, and he's going to be starting at number 1. So it's kind of like a me versus the world type of deal. It seems as though WWE is trying to throw a curveball and switch things up, because for the most part, their content is very, is very predictable, and that's why I stopped watching it. Because I used to watch the programming faithfully whenever it came on, but it was like, it got to be so boring, because it was like, okay, I know what's going to happen here, and then it's like the same matches over and over. So I'm going to tune back in and watch the Royal Rumble. There's also supposed to be like some surprise entrances in the Royal Rumble. And then we also got Kofi Kingston with his athletic ability. That's always, a sight to see. We might see another woman enter again, like last year. Nia Jax entered last year. That was kind of funny. She got RKO'd and 619 too. That was pretty interesting. But we'll just have to see, who's the special entrance for this year Royal Rumble. And then we also see Seth Rollins. He's been rolling with AOP in sort of a mob boss type of role, where he's basically sicking them on all of his competition and whatnot. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But I'm expecting NXT to make an appearance in the Rumble, get them more involved. And then also in music, we get Lil Wayne's album The Funeral is coming on the 31st. So that's going to be pretty cool, because we've been hearing about that album for quite a while. And he released a small little like some promo material. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Let's see here. Alrighty. And it's interesting because the title, it says funeral. It's like one of those I forgot what you call it, where the wording says two different things even though it's one word. So like right side up it says funeral, but if you flip it upside down it says Lil Wayne. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then he gave us like a little sneak peek of what we can expect from the project as well. Let me start that from the beginning. So this is something that you can see posted on his Twitter feed. And then we get the famous flick, so you know it's going to be flames. So I'm looking forward to this. It kind of sound like old Wayne. His last project was a Carter 5, so this should be cool. Welcome to the funeral. So I'm gonna be doing the music review of that. So I can't wait till that come out. So that would be what, next Friday. So the following week's podcast might get pushed, but we'll just have to see. But overall, not a whole bunch happened this week, so this one isn't as long as the other ones. But that's going to pretty much do it for this week's podcast. I appreciate you all for tuning in. As I've said before, if you guys want to ask me any questions or anything like that, you can email me. I put an email in the link below, so you can email questions if you want to ask me any questions and whatnot from that. Also this year, I'm going to be releasing two EDM albums. The first one is going to be coming out probably in March or April, and then the second one maybe August or September. I'm still not sure on that, but you're going to be seeing promo material for that. There's going to be merchandise around those two projects, so be on the lookout for that. And also, if you guys have been wondering why I haven't been doing reactions and whatnot, is because, YouTube is tripping now. They're basically going around demonetizing people's channels. Like if you do reactions like I do, they're basically telling people, reuse. They put in a thing that says reuse content. So basically, if you do reactions, they don't want you to do them, so they're demonetizing your channel, and that's why I had to stop doing them. On top of me getting 2 strikes, so it's like, it's either I stop doing them, or I run a risk of getting a 3rd strike and ultimately losing my whole channel. So that's why I haven't been doing reactions, and because of that, I've been losing subs and whatnot. But hopefully you guys stick around. I'm still putting out content, new music every week, the podcast every week, gaming videos, music reviews. I'm gonna start back doing skits as well, just have to plan accordingly for that. But also, as you get closer and closer to me releasing my albums, I'm probably gonna be debuting some of the music off of there on this podcast, so you guys just gonna have to stay tuned for that. And also, I have new items in the merch store, so you guys can check that out as well. But until next week's podcast, I appreciate you all for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And until then, peace.
CaliKidOfficial on the beat.